What's up, everybody? Welcome to Transition Tuesdays. For this Tuesday, February 25th, 2020, I am your host, Russ Williams. I'm so glad you can make it here today. I'm quite aware you could have been anywhere in this world today. I know you could have been anywhere in this world today, but you decided to be here with me, and I appreciate that. And more importantly, I appreciate you. So, welcome to Transition Tuesdays on this rainy day here in New York City. Happy Fat Tuesday to everybody out there, and happy Mardi Gras to everybody out there. So, welcome again to Transition Tuesdays. And I lived in New Orleans for like 8 years, and if it's one thing you have to do, you have to experience Mardi Gras at least one time in your life. So I do recommend you do that. So again, happy Fat Tuesdays and happy Mardi Gras to everybody out there as well. Hey guys, before we start the show, I love to state my intentions for Transition Tuesdays, and my intentions is to give you the opportunity to laugh, smile, and think, and engage in honest conversations about your life's transition. So that is my intentions for the show here today. As we have my man John joining us today. What's going on, John? Welcome again to Transition Tuesdays. Appreciate having you again there, John. So yeah, that's the intentions of the show. And we're gonna have fun today. We're gonna be talking about some topics as we normally do from week to week. And I got a special announcement lined up today too. So I'm gonna talk about that at the end. But I first want to talk about the Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gianna, the coming home celebration, a celebration of life, about that. And it was very uplifting. It was very sad and an emotional time watching that. You had 20,000 plus people at the Staples Arena in Los Angeles, just celebrating the life of Kobe Bryant and his daughter, Gianna. It was really heartfelt. It was really moving. His wife, Vanessa, having the courage and strength to get up there and talk about, her husband and her daughter. It took a lot of strength to do that. And in the audience was a lot of Kobe Bryant's former teammates. So Rick Fox there, so Derek Fisher, Shaq was there, guys like that, guys he played with, guys he played against, friends and everything. And really got me to thinking. A couple of things that really hit home for me during that is I was able to really rewind for myself. I lost two of my college teammates when I played, Charles Dubra and Greg Rock. And it really, when you lose a teammate, especially for me in my case in basketball, when you lose a teammate, it really gets you reminiscing about that person and how much you grieve. And to this day I grieve. And that was a number of years ago when one of my two closest friends were passed away. I had one, Greg Rock, who physical specimen. Greg Rock, he's from the Bronx, Talentine High School. He's the main reason why I attended Manhattan College. I was on the recruiting visit. He hosted me in my recruiting visit, him along with Ken Boyd, my good friend of mine. So but Greg Rock was a guy who, playing pickup ball, and he makes a basket, and then he's running down the court, and he has a heart attack right there. That's it was really tough, losing a teammate like that. And you have my other teammate, Charles Dubra. God bless those two guys, those two brothers. Those are my brothers there. He had heart problems as well. He had a tumor in his heart, and he passed away. So you never really get past that grieving stage of losing a teammate. And I could imagine, Vanessa just having to bury, not only her husband but her daughter as well. And but she really handled the whole scenario with a lot of grace and style. And it's kind of strange because at least in my point of view, I've never really heard Vanessa speak before, and she was very eloquent. And I know Kobe Bryant was really safeguarded her from the media and everything. I know I've heard reports about that, but she really came off as personable, and she just showed a lot of strength going forward for the time to come. That's going to take place, and She acknowledged all the prayers of everybody and all those things. So I could imagine. And me as losing, teammates, you go through that grieving period, But I think the thing is, a lot of time is you just got to remember those people, like the memories that you have, about the people who pass away in your life, especially if it's a teammate, if you play a sport and a teammate, happens to pass away. It's all about honoring that person and the memory and having the memories of that person. Like for example, myself with Charles Dubra, we were captains on my team in Manhattan College our senior years, and I remember like clockwork when we used to go to the huddle, the captain's huddle, and when we were done talking to the referees and the opposing team, like clockwork, I used to smack Charles Dubra in the back of the head, and he smacked me in the back of my head. And that showed us we were both ready to go. So these are the things I remember, as my former teammates who passed away. I remember my boy Greg Rock, my freshman year. I remember this story vividly. I remember Greg Rock used to wear glasses all the time, and one time he was taking a nap, and he was a strong sleeper. Nothing will wake this guy up. So it was a guy on the track team decides to take his glasses and duct tape him in black duct tape and put him back on his eyes while he's sleeping. So he wakes up Greg Rock, and Greg Rock wakes up in a panic. He's like, "Oh, I can't see. I'm blind. I can't see." And when he found out who did it, he's like chasing this guy around all throughout the dorms. These are memories that I remember of my teammates who have passed away. So, I would imagine the teammates of Kobe Bryant were doing just like that, just remembering those things that, besides basketball that you remember. I love the story of Vanessa. She was talking about how Kobe Bryant was going to take on the picking up the carpool duties of the kids after he retired, and him coming late one time, and that was the only time he came late, and he made it a time to be there on time in the carpool at least an hour and a half. So, these are the things. And, and that reminds me of, my daughter and having daughters. And I remember, the best time for me was when I lived in New Orleans and I'm driving my youngest daughter to school. That was a memorable moment for me because it was a great time for me. Each and every day I got a chance to hang out with my daughter, drive in the car, listen to music, and just get a chance to talk. So these are memories that I definitely share. We got Karen joining us. What's going on, Karen? We also have Charlie joining us. What's going on, Charlie? Welcome, guys, to Transition Tuesdays. So John says, Russ, hope all is well. MJ's speech, yes, one for the ages, goes to show you that celebrities are human. Yes, great feeling of love and friendship shown yesterday. God bless the families. Absolutely. Yeah, Michael Jordan, man, we don't usually see that emotion from Michael Jordan. I think the last time you probably saw that emotion from Michael Jordan was the time when the Bulls won that championship on Father's Day. And I know he really broke down and cried like afterwards in the locker room. I remember that image. But I think yesterday's speech really showed the human side, like John mentioned, of MJ, Michael Jordan's speech. Here's a guy who we didn't know this, but I had no idea that Kobe Bryant was like his little brother. And he was really touched and moved by Kobe Bryant and everything. So, yeah, his speech was for the ages. And like he talked about that crying meme, because people knew him about that crying meme many years ago. And so he says now it's going to be another crying meme for the next 3 years. And Kobe's, he's the guy that's responsible. He's the guy that brings that out of me. So that was great to see the human spirit of people, just like a Michael Jordan. And the ceremonies affects you. It really does. It really affected me. I mean, I was crying because I was thinking about, the legacy about Kobe Bryant. And then I was also thinking about, Kobe Bryant's the daughter that he they both perished on the plane, along with the other victims of that of the helicopter accident as well. But I was thinking about that, and it puts things into proper perspective when you see like Kobe Bryant and his daughters. The pictures that he had with his daughters puts a lot of things in proper perspective. It seemed like that, what happened to Kobe Bryant was probably going to be like his second act, was going to be being that full-time father and business and stuff like that. But you could just see in the eyes of his daughter and those two like looking at each other. And, just, man, it's just heartfelt. And me having daughters, that hashtag girls dad, I really felt that. And when the pictures I seen of Kobe and his daughter Gianna, it made me feel such a way. I got emotional watching it. I broke down watching it. And, I'm going through a little situation with my youngest daughter right now in terms of, we're not connecting as we should be, as I would like to connect with my daughter. But, long as I have breath in me, and I'm just going to continue to reach out to my youngest daughter. I have two daughters. My oldest daughter, everything's fine, with that. But my youngest daughter, we going through some things, couple of things, with that. So I just, you just can't take things for granted. I just got to make things right and just have that communication with my youngest daughter. So, seeing what happened to Kobe Bryant and his daughter, that's going to prompt me to really reach out and make things right for that. But, yeah, like John mentioned, though, the MJ speech, that was one for the ages. And, you really feel for, what went down and what's going on in that process. You really do. And it was really heartfelt. And, it's just tough. It's just tough when you're grieving. But again, I can, for me personally, I can definitely relate to what was going on with, his daughter's situation, relationship he had with his daughters, second act as a dad, and, the teammate situation as well. Because myself, how I lost two of my teammates, and you continue to grieve, you continue to grieve. But I think, when you are trying to transition for the grieving stage, I think the most important thing to really realize is to, keep these people in your memory, keep these people in high regard. And, that's the GPS or the game plan steps that I like to share in terms of this transition. Just keep these people in your memory. If you lose somebody, a loved one, keep them in your memory, keep them in your memory. And that way, when you do stuff like that, in the case of Kobe Bryant, his legacy was, uplifting people. And it was very interesting to hear Rob Pelinka talk about, the last text he got, the last moments he got from Kobe Bryant before the accident was, here's Kobe Bryant reaching out to Rob Pelinka, his best friend, to possibly get an internship for one of the coach's daughters, a baseball internship. So here's this guy, he's in this final time, he's there uplifting, So if there's anything we can learn from this experience about the legacy of Kobe Bryant and his daughters, I think we can learn about uplifting and how you can uplift somebody and how you can help out with somebody during this time of need, especially during this grief process. When you're going through a loss of a loved one. We have Leah joining us. What's going on, Leah? Welcome to Transition Tuesdays. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, yeah, again, ceremony very heartfelt. It's very tough, very emotional, but yeah, you hate to see a living legend, pass that way. But I think Vanessa hit it right on the nose. She says maybe God intended for both of them to, go to heaven, because it probably would have been tough on earth for one or the other, who might have survived it. It might have been tough for them to, to continue on. So, nope, God doesn't make mistakes. We all know that. But, sometimes we have to just, abide by what's going on and learn and, live out people's legacies and, and uplift people. And that's what Kobe Bryant did. And that showed with the love that he received in the Staples Center, across the world, across the world. This was a big event for everybody and for humanity. So, that was really tough to take in, very emotional, but, you just got to honor these people when they're here. And, like I mentioned in my case, in terms of my younger daughter, I just got to make things right the way they are. I just got to work on that. That's something I have to work on. And Kobe Bryant showed me the way to do that. So that's something I will be working on. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I want to transition to not brighter news, but this is just news that we should definitely talk about because it is news. And want to talk about the Harvey Weinstein case here in New York City. If you guys are familiar with that, he was up for rape charges here in New York State. He was convicted of third-degree rape, which carried a lesser sentence than the first-degree rape. I believe it was like up to 5 years. So he gets convicted of that. He gets handcuffed, and they're about to take him to Rikers Island. That's what people serve. I mean, one of the toughest prisons in the country. But he was going there by ambulance, and then they had to make a detour because he was complaining of heart problems and high blood pressure. So they made a detour to Bellevue Hospital, and they had to treat him. So we're going to see what's going on with that. But he's not out of the woods yet. I know he was convicted. His sentencing is going to be on March the 11th, and but he's not out of the woods yet because he has to be extradited to Los Angeles because there's 2 more other cases that are pending, which he has to go to trial for. So it is not over for Harvey Weinstein. But my question is justice served for those victims in this particular trial? Is justice served by him going to possibly receive jail time? We're going to have to see on that. But that's my question: is the justice served for those individuals involved in this case with the Harvey Weinstein case in New York here? We really have to see that. Yeah, because man, I tell you, it's it can get really dicey and hairy. And I was recently reading about how Bill Cosby's publicist commented on the Harvey Weinstein case, saying it was a sad day for the judicial system, especially for wealthy and famous men. I don't know, publicist there. I think you should stand down in this case here. I don't think probably should be commenting on that, especially that, just saying like basically it was Harvey Weinstein the victim here because he was famous and he had money. I think we should stand down here on that. I think we should, on those victims, especially those who've come out, who were brave enough to come out. So, so the question I asked was, was justice served? I mean, that's not for us to answer. But I think in those cases, for those people who bravely came out, I'd like to hear what they had to say. Was it justice in their eyes? Maybe we find that out later on, but we'll see. We'll definitely see on that. But again, Harvey Weinstein, he's gonna be serving jail time. Again, he's gonna be sentenced on March 11th. We're going to see what the deal is on that. But again, he's not out of the woods after that. After he's out of Bellevue, he's going to go to Rikers. He's going to be sentenced. And then he has to be extradited to California for those 2 trials. So that might even add up to more charges onto his sentencing, not only in New York, but also in the state of California. So we're going to really see. We're going to really see. And it's really pivotal. It's going to be, we're going to really see if these people like that get away with things. Like, for example, I was really surprised to hear that he got off, that he was convicted. I thought personally, this is my belief, I believe that he was going to not be charged in this case in New York, but possibly charged in California. We got John says it's over for Harvey no matter how you look at it. What he did to those poor women, good luck at the gates of heaven. Yeah. Yep. Well, yeah, we gotta see, John. Again, yeah, it does look bleak for him. And if again, people gotta realize he was charged. Like 80-something women came out saying that he sexually assaulted them or raped or abused. 80 plus women came out. So I mean, I tell you, we just gotta see what goes on. But yeah, it doesn't look good for him. And if he did 1 or 80, you definitely need to be brought to justice. Definitely on that. And Harvey Weinstein, man, we talk about a transition game plan. You're gonna definitely need a transition game plan because hey, I know, I never served any jail time, thank God, but I know people who have, and I know the situation is not nice. Those people who come in as predators or sexual deviants and come into prisons. It's not gonna be. It's nothing nice. Nothing nice. We got Pam joining us. What's going on, Pam? Welcome to Transition Tuesdays. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So yeah, that's nothing nice, but we're gonna see. We're gonna see what goes on, and we definitely gonna see what's going on in this process. We definitely got to see what's going on in this process because this is a process. We have Kimberly joining us. What's going on, Kimberly? Welcome to Transition Tuesdays. I believe this is Kimberly's first time. Welcome. We welcome you, Kimberly, to Transition Tuesdays. Appreciate you coming on and joining us today. We really appreciate it. So, yeah, we're going to have to wait and see. I was a little offended by Harvey Weinstein when he came into court, said he had back surgery, so he came on a walker and rolled in and rolled out. And, his lawyers were trying to use that as a defense that he's a weak and feeble man. So he possibly can't stand to do jail time, because of his stature, physical stature. And again, I'm a little deterred about, that that ambulance taking a detour from Rikers to Bellevue Hospital to check on it. I know this is a trying time for her, I would imagine, but you got to think about the trying time it was for those ladies. So, you can't use these things as excuse and props and all this stuff going into the courthouse. I mean, I was offended by seeing that. I don't know about you guys, but I was definitely offended by that. Just kind of, trying to rule out, hey, look, I couldn't possibly do this because the way I am, my physical stature is. I mean, I wasn't buying that. That's one thing I wasn't buying for that. The spectacle of that, making a spectacle of the court by doing that, coming into the courthouse with that. I just didn't like that. That's just me personally. I just didn't like that. But again, if he's found guilty of these criminal acts, you got to do the time. You got to do the time. So you too on that. Like himself doing all these things really spurred on the Me Too movement. So that's why this case is so important. These cases are so important in that movement and how we treat people and things. We're not. These things aren't acceptable in our society now. These aren't acceptable, and if you do these things, you gotta pay the consequences. You definitely gotta pay the consequences in this case. You definitely gotta do that. Hey, so ladies and gentlemen, if I was able to make you laugh, smile, and think throughout this broadcast today, my good friends, you have accomplished something major today. So celebrate your victory. Like I always say, and I'll give you one victory for me this past week. And I'm really proud of myself, and I consider this a victory for me. I was able to make and cook on my own baked chicken and gravy. Man, I was psyched. I put my foot in it, as they say, and I was ecstatic by doing that. So I celebrate the victory by eating every last bit of it. And it was good, ladies and gentlemen. It was very good. So celebrate your victory. So the question I have for you is, which victory are you going to celebrate today? Which one are you going to celebrate today? So that is so, so, so important here. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, let me just play my theme music here. Hey, so ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you guys for watching Transition Tuesdays. I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. And before I forget, I have a special announcement to make. Drum roll, please. All right. My special announcement is we now have a podcast. It's called The Russ and Kaylanice Experience. All right, The Russ and Kaylanice Experience, the podcast. We have launched it. We're on episode 2. ladies and gentlemen. And if you're wondering about what this experience is going to be about, the podcast, we're going to be talking about pop culture. We're going to be talking about current events. We're going to be talking about sports, religion. We're going to be talking about everything that you can think of. You know, we're going to be giving out tips, tools, and resources to help you on your daily grind and your daily lives. We're going to be sharing our experiences with you, and hopefully you share your experiences with us as well. So again, you have an opportunity to get this podcast, the Russ and Kayla Niece Experience. It's on major podcast platforms. I know it's on Spotify. We're growing day by day. It's a weekly podcast that comes out every week. I'm recommending and I'm hoping my transition army that I have here, that's you, all right? My transition army tunes in, subscribe. It's free to do. It's free to listen to. Subscribe to the Russ and Kayla Niece podcast, okay, on all major podcast platforms. Subscribe, share, make comments, share on your social media, okay? We're going to go through this experience together, and you guys have given me the platform to have a podcast and sharing this experience. So I want to give back to you guys. I want to give back to my transition army. So I want you guys to join me on this journey. And make sure you go to the Russ and Kayla Niece Experience, the podcast, on major podcast platforms, starting with Spotify. We're on 5 of those now, but we're growing. We're growing, and I want you guys to grow with us. So that is the special announcement that I have. We're in episode 2. Make sure you check that out. Soon as we're done here today, I would love for you to do that. Part of my transition army. And I wouldn't be able to do it without you guys. So again, I just want to celebrate that special announcement that I had to get off my chest. I forgot to say it last week, but I'm saying it now. This week, the Russ and Kayla Niece Experience, the podcast. Make sure you go in there and subscribe. So ladies and gentlemen, as I always say on this show, as we say in parting, happy transitioning, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care, everybody.